folks, welcome to the latest video. This one is all about my SMK C02 Rifle, the XS78, also called sometimes known as a QB78. Really popular rifles, made in China and based on the old Crosman C02 rifles, and really well looked after, really, well, sought after by those that like tuning and having something a little bit different, customisably. I mean, nice little rifle for plinking, can be used for hunting if it's short range, but like a lot of the Crosman rifles and pistols, what makes these favourable to a lot is because they don't cost a lot and you can improve them and customise them to your own liking. C02 does have its drawbacks, and that is because it's affected by the cold and the heat from a warm day. So one day if it's cold it's going to be low in power, another day when it's really hot it's going to be high in power, so you must be aware of that. And basically when you're shooting these things you've got to basically zero them in every time you use it, because what might work one day might be off the next because of the change in temperature, and that is its downside. I'll show you the actual schematics for this, but like I say, they are affected by temperatures. If you leave it in the cylinder after shooting it, it will damage the seals over time. So you're better off basically shooting your shots off, basically, when you finish shooting. At the front of the rifle you can get a different, like, drop lock one where you can fit a larger CO2 capsule, get more shots from that. The downside to that is you've got air in it, or gas in it, CO2 in it when you finish shooting. So most people buy the small capsules. Now, like the Crosman rifles, these CO2 rifles made in China, they're very, very customisable. You can actually convert to high pressure air by putting a different adapter on the front there, although you can't charge it to the same pressures that you can PCP rifle. I mean, most PCPs charge to around 3000 psi or 200 bar, whereas these are a lot lower. I don't know if they're around 800. You can't charge them so much, but you can turn them into high pressure air guns and you'll get a better consistency of the shot. Now, what I do find with this rifle, there's nothing in it, single shot on this one. On this one, the trigger, it's not that brilliant. So I'll pull on it and I'm still pulling and I'm waiting. I can't feel the second stage, it's more like a one stage trigger. I'll keep pulling and pulling and pulling, and then it finally goes. Now what you can get trigger kits for these to improve that, because that will affect your points of impact. So you end up pulling the shot. You can get different breech blocks where you can have multi-shot adapters put into them. I think based around the Benjamin, but you're talking £115. So if you're going to start spending out on one of these, and you're spending £115 on a new block to make it multi-shot, by the time you're done, you might as well have bought a PCP in the first place. But some people just like tuning and messing around. So, like I say, you can get power kits, you can get tuning kits for the triggers, you can get multi-shot adapter kits. You can get different barrels, different stocks. I mean, this goes under the SMK name, but you get QB as well, SMK QB. All the same rifle, but just in a different format. You get better quality rifles. You get some that's got like brass triggers and bolts and things like that, but like I say, you can add to that afterwards if you want to. The blocks I've seen, you can get in Picatinny blocks. I've actually sprayed this one British Army green. It did come with like a boot stock, and it was quite a dark brown, so I just painted it like that. Trigger safety on these is on the left hand side, and that's all it is, like that, just to stop the trigger. Like I say, it's just a straight pull back bolt on it. I did get a moderator for this one. I just quieten them down. But it's not a bad rifle. Like I say, I started off with this one when I got back into shooting, and I was down at Pete's Airgun Farm with it, basically, with my lad. He was the first one to get a PCP. I think he got the AGS PCR1, which is now in bits because it needs a new valve and you can't get them anymore. I was shooting this. I was shooting the reactive targets out to 60 yards with it. If you're going to go rabbiting though, I'd say you've got to be on a hot day, and I won't go past 30 yards. But they can be quite accurate, to be honest. But that is basically the C02 rifle. Like I say, I did put this up on the channel a couple of years back, and I came to shoot it because I've not shot it in such a long time. The seals had gone on it, so it started leaking. So at that stage, I got some new seals, did it all up, serviced it, and it's been all this time since I even bothered getting a C02 capsule. So I got some the other day, and what I thought I'd do was see how it shot, see what the power was, show you what the power is when it's only 3 centigrade. Which, like I say, it was coming out at about 7.2 foot-pounds, pretty consistent. And what I'll do in the future weeks or months when the temperature rises, I'll show you again what a difference it makes with the temperature rise. So it should on a good day be shooting 10.5, 11 foot-pounds. So that is it for now. The next part of the video you'll see on the backyard test, and then following on from that, in the future weeks or months you'll see it in better weather. I might even get a trigger kit for it as well, because that'll make all the difference. Because I did notice that, like you saw there, I kept pulling and pulling. When it did go, it tended to go right to left, so it didn't do as good as it should have done. So up next, the backyard test. Okay then folks, as you know, I've not really done anything with this for the last couple of years, apart from change the seals in it because it leaked. So temperature now is 3 centigrade, so it's not the ideal conditions. I'm going to chronograph it anyway in any case. We'll see what it's putting out power wise, because temperature really does affect CO2. On a cold day the the pressure will drop. On a hot day it will rise. So got a target set up at 20 using H&N Field Target Trophies. I'm also going to chronograph it. So as soon as I've got this set up, we'll begin. Okay then. Now I was having problems with the chronograph the other day, and what was actually happening to it was it was doing a double reading for some reason. It's cold. Okay then. See where this goes.
Seven. 7.4.
7.4. That's because it's so cold, I think. So normally around 10.
Seven. 1.
So I actually left the rifle in the garage last night, so to acclimatise to the cold.
Six. 9.
You'll also find the faster you shoot a CO2 gun, the colder it gets, so the less power it is. A bit wobbly there, but I want to tighten the stock up a bit.
Seven. 4.
You can use these for pest control. I won't go much above 25, even though I have shot targets at 60 with this, reactive targets. And if you're going to do it, you've got to shoot the thing first to zero in. So like I say, the temperature will affect it from one day to the next. So you'll get a different point of impact.
Seven. 5.
Get around 40 or 50 shots normally. That's better.
2.
Okay then, so I'm going to go for the group now. It's going to be a 5-shot group.
Seven. 4.
So it's pretty consistent, even though it's cold and low powered, but
7.2. 6.9. 7.3.
Quite a bit of travel in the trigger, that could do with adjusting. I'll do one more. So we're probably averaging around 7 on the hook.
7.0.
Okay then. So that's the test complete at 20 yards. To make a good ratting gun at 20. But like I say, I wouldn't really go above 25 if you're shooting vermin. But that is the SMK XS78. Go under different names. You've got QB78, you've got better versions, you've got some with better stocks, so they're very tunable as well. I think that's why they've got such a big following. But this is the first gun that got me back into shooting again. About 2008. So, got a high of 7.5 foot-pounds, a low of 6.9, which is an average of 7.2. It's a spread, hang on, go on to feet per second. Right, 13 shots fired, high of 480 feet per second, low of 459. Average of 470, spread of 21, standard deviation 6.8. I can guarantee you, if I came out here in the summer and it was 70 degrees, it's going to be pushing between 10 and 11 foot-pounds. So that's the difference that the temperature makes. And that is one of the problems with CO2s. You lose consistency because of temperature fluctuations. I mean, they're okay. You've got the cost of the CO2 to add to it, and they've gone up in price. This uses 2 capsules, so you can load one in and an empty one, and just go off one if you want to. But for now, that is the test at 20 at 3 degrees centigrade.